Even if you're a first-class citizen on a train, you pay the fare.
First class citizen.
Scummy broke bitches with ugly hair. Same, pay the fare.
Nasty house.
What's up, everyone? Just doing a recap here. Trip. Euro trip. Switzerland, Italy, France, all of that. Got to get into character. You know, it's cold. Oh, it's Switzerland. You've seen the footage. I'll weave some in with the cards and everything. It couldn't possibly be a 75-degree day out here in Southern California on August 2nd when I'm shooting this. Word to the wise, as I always say, if you ever do something like this, where you shoot a trip series and you plan to do a recap, and I know I've said this before, but shoot it closer to the time you actually get back from the trip. About 2.5 months now. So memories are fading a little bit in terms of what I ripped. Not the memories of the things I saw and the things we did. What I wanted to do was I'll show you some of the cards that I pulled. I have 27 set aside here. Only sent 2 cards out of everything I pulled off to PSA at this time. One was a Wembanyama pink ice prism, and the other was a CJ Stroud green wave prism. Both of those pulled in Switzerland, so peaked in the peaks of Switzerland. Definitely peaked early on in this trip, and it kind of went blah from there. I don't know. It makes you think you have to be more selective with the things you open, but those are the breaks with retail. Sometimes you hit some good stuff, and most of the time you don't. Now I need to get this video shot. I need to get this stuff cleared off my desk. 12 optic basketball megas I just opened. Those are the better cards. Off camera, I'm just going to go ahead and recap. Those hit something really good. Something orange to 99 of one of the better rookies. The best rookie. Huge stack over here of cards that I don't even know if I want to sleeve. I probably just want to throw them away. Let's get on with talking about Switzerland. Now, you heard the music, and we're talking with my wife and everything about it, and she's saying, oh, it won't make any sense, this and that, and a lot of the things you do on a trip like this are things we record, places where we're at. Those are for our memories, right? We experience the thing, so obviously it's going to make sense to us. It's not always going to make sense to you all who watch it. But the point of shooting stuff out there is to have something to tie the memory of a place to a particular thing. And then, of course, you can go back and watch, get your footage, and to recall places you've been and seen. And God, it is getting hot in this thing. Switzerland weather needs to kick in right now. So what I wanted to talk about with Switzerland, kind of the funny things that happened there, which I talked about in the song, I was talking about first class citizen. We had this guy, we were taking a train on the first leg to the top of Europe. We were going to Jungfrau, and they are really strict there with their train tickets. There's a Swiss rail pass you can buy that gets you half off. You're going to be racking up a lot in terms of rail if you don't have a car. And they're strict. They come around every time. And they'll check your pass, check your half fare pass, everything. Make sure everything's in order. They don't play there. So this guy, and the great thing about being on trips is sometimes you're just right there where some good stuff happens. He just happened to be sitting in the seat right next to us. And they asked him for his ticket. He pulls out some pocket lint, a couple paper clips. I think I saw a couple used bubblegum wrappers. And I believe I saw a piece or two chewed up bubblegum that he had put back in the wrapper for later. When he didn't produce the proper passes, the guy told him, stay here. And of course, you don't know how they do their thing there, but my speculation is what they do is they'll get your information and then they'll make you pay for the ticket right then, or they'll boot you off and then possibly bill you later. But the key obviously is getting your information. So making sure that they go around, get your ID so they can put you into their little handheld computer thingamajig they use. What they do is it's like a scanner at a self-scanner checkout. Scan the thing, they scan your code, and they make sure you're good. He wasn't. Off he goes. But he starts getting belligerent, and of course he was one of those MTD types. MTD, that's an acronym I've created. A little inside joke that I share with the missus. keep that to myself. He started getting belligerent. I love it. And he kept yelling, I'm a first-class citizen. I'm a first-class citizen. Or what does that have to do with anything? So that's what gave rise to the line. Even if you're a first-class citizen, you still have to pay the fare. When we were going from Zermatt to Milan, there were these nasty girls they got on. And I say nasty. I noticed them right away. Oh, and the guy, before I forget, he just looked the part to me. Like somebody who, if you told me, okay, anybody on this train would be trying to take advantage of the system, it'd be that guy. He just didn't look the part of everyone else that's going there, because everyone else that's going there is pretty much tourists going that far out of the way. There could be workers going there, of course, but he just didn't look the part. So when the guy came up and sweated him and he didn't have the proper documentation, had to love it. A couple girls walk on as we're going to Milan. And right away, to me, red flags went up as well. One of them was MTD. The other one, a friend of an MTD. So like attracts like. And when they walked by us, it reeked of that 420. Hey, not hating on you 420 folks out there, but when you look scummy and you reek, then my alarm goes off, because these tickets aren't cheap. The tickets that we paid to go from Zermatt to Milan, I want to say it was about somewhere in the $60 to $80 range. And these two girls look like even if they had $20, they would smoke it all. So when it came time for him to get them, couldn't produce the proper documentation, and off they went. Good times, good times. Switzerland, unfortunately for us, the week that we were there, it was really cold, really awful, snowed most of the days, cleared up the last day and the day we were leaving, of course. You have to make do. You can't just stay in the hotel all day. Some Merlin, Zoboslai, Holland, some canvas action, Oshie, some Young Guns, Hellesen, Denoyer, Kessel, Smith, Young. Just going to show you 27 cards, 9 at a time for each country we were in. Wanted to send the Kessel, but it had some white on the top and the bottom to where I thought it would be a 9. Wasn't worth sending at this time. They say in Switzerland you can drink straight from the mountain now. They have taps and everything. I was led to believe by certain misses that these tap water places would be very readily available. That wasn't necessarily the case. Sometimes you'd have to hunt for them, or sometimes you just luck upon them. But you saw some footage if you watch those videos of me sipping on some scissorp straight from the mountains. And I must say, it was just as good as the tap water here in Costa Mesa. But Switzerland, though, it was a journey to get there. As I said, got cheated a little bit by the weather. The next week, the weather was great from what I've heard. The week before, as I said. So it'd be great to go back there sometime more in the summertime, where you can actually get up on the mountains, get some good weather, explore and see things. July, August, September, somewhere in that time frame. When we went late April, hit or miss, of course. Moved on to Italy after that. As I said, we went from Zermatt to Milan. Met some interesting people there. The Italian women, oh, buongiorno, 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 all day long, all day long. I kid, of course. I'll let my friend Mario tell you all about Italy. Buongiorno, Duomo after Duomo. Like Roy Hibbert once said, this trip is no ho.
Shut your mouth!
Arrivederci, Mario here. That's a spicy meatball and all that nonsense. What'd you expect? A Colombian guy? Come on, Mario, would you expect a Colombian guy pretending to be an Italian plumber? Let me show you what I'm working with here. When it came to writing the intros, this was the Switzerland one. This was the one for Italy. Look at the meticulousness to this. Some of the stuff gets crossed off. The intros were already too long. Had to cut some of the stuff. Italy, Milan first, then Florence. Those were mostly just for seeing the city, shopping. The missus had a plan, and she had saved up well ahead of time, and she fully executed her plan. We'll say that. Me, I'm over here wondering, why is it so hard to find a public restroom? And that was all across Europe. Funny thing was, one of the nights in the hotel, I was just doing a search. I was trying to see why it was so hard to find a public restroom. Or actually, I was looking for an app to see if there was something I could download to where I can find public restrooms. And a lot of the times, what you end up doing is you just go to McDonald's or something like that, and you have to pay for a croissant or something like that, a macaroon, to get a code to use the restroom. That's how it is there. Likely something to do with them seeing how it is here and how the homeless just live in restrooms. Hold on, I'm falling apart here. I'm falling apart. Get it together. Come on, look the part. Came across this thread on Reddit, and they were discussing it, and some Italian woman chimed in. And in the thread, they were talking about how dirty the toilets were, how oftentimes there wouldn't even be a seat. They talked about for sanitation reasons and stuff like that, but a woman chimed in, and the conversation took a funny turn. We're talking about how, due to the fact that there are no seats, you just squat. And she was saying that's why Italian women had such great asses, is because constant squatting in public, building up those glutes, baby. If that's the case, hey, I can appreciate Italian government officials for that, and can confirm that was the case. Far more than in Switzerland and in France. So that's something to certainly appreciate about Italy itself. Milan, Florence, as I said, good for city life. Right? A break from Switzerland. Did bump into some rain there, kind of slows you down a little bit. Nothing compared to Switzerland, of course, but as I said, the missus still found a way to fully execute her plan. Walking around Florence, they had a lot of those Barbie stickers. You may have seen me work some of that stuff in to the video as well. Now, with Italy, as you all know, the stereotypes, pasta, pizza, 100% true. Every meal you go to, Italian restaurant, here's bread. Even if you're going to be eating pasta or pizza, start the meal, here's bread. There was a line in there I was talking about bread belly because of eating bread and carbohydrates and stuff like that for 11, 12 days straight, and how I wanted a steak. I was desperately seeking a steak or a burger, chicken, something. After Milan and Florence, we took a train, and then we had to rent a private van to take us down to the Amalfi Coast. To get from the airport in Naples to the Amalfi Coast, it was €140, I believe, and we were able to arrange that through our hotel. Stayed at the Hotel Villa Romano in Minori. Nice place. If we go back and stay in Minori, would definitely consider staying there again.